I'm Zach,
And I'm Lindsay.
and this is the Game Forums Extended Forum, episode 14. Today we're going to be talking about a WB rumor, Modern Warfare 2 being released, and The Last of Us being delayed. But first, what have you been playing?
So again, I've been playing a good bit of Warzone this week. I've been having a lot of fun with it, playing with some friends.
Yeah,
Um, we actually came in first once, so it was a lot of
really?
fun. It got really intense.
So you won.
Um, yes, we finally won one. We haven't been
Uh,
able to play a ton of matches, but being able to get down to the very end and pull it out was a lot of fun.
that's awesome.
Uh, Yeah. We've had a lot of them really close too. We've come in second and third a couple of times.
Yeah.
But it was the first time me and this group came in first. Um, and other than that, I did play Resident Evil 3 for our
Yep.
first impressions.
Yep.
Y'all can check out that video.
Yep.
And I did play a little bit of Crossout, not a whole lot. I'm trying to finish up the season pass and that before it ends in a
When
couple
is
of
it?
weeks.
Oh, a couple more
I,
weeks.
I think it's got a couple more weeks on it, and I'm almost to the end. I think I'm level 70, and it ends at 75.
Oh,
So I
okay.
think as long as I do this next week's challenges, I'll pretty well finish it.
Huh. Oh, okay, cool. All right. So let's see. So yes, I also played Resident Evil 3 for our first impressions, which should be up by the time this is
Yeah,
posted, right? Okay.
I'm going to try and have that out Monday, and we'll put this video out maybe Wednesday or Thursday.
Okay. I've also been playing a little bit of Warzone, just kind of like a little pickup here and there. I think I
Yeah,
played maybe 2 matches this week. And I really like Warzone. Well, actually, no, I
yeah,
played a little more than that because I played with you and Jason.
yeah.
So it was. I mean, it's fun. I still enjoy it. It's still like the perfect like, hey, I only got an hour to kill. I'll just play some Warzone because it's just super fun. But other than that, I played a little bit more of Doom Eternal, and my God, this game is amazing. Uh, it's like it, Titanfall 2 is the best first-person shooter I've ever played
Yeah.
until Doom Eternal. Doom
Now, see,
Eternal. What?
okay, sorry. So what has changed for you? Because the last time I talked to you, you said you were kind of starting to get like bogged down with it a little.
So they introduced a new enemy called the Marauder,
Yeah.
and this dude is difficult. And then I finally get used to it, and then they change it up and add the Gladiator. And this guy is like the bane of my existence. And it's so cool because they tell you exactly what to do to defeat this enemy. But it's in the way of like, hey, this is what you need to do to kill the enemy. Good luck. And it is so difficult. And so like the gladiator has a shield. The shield has a
Yeah.
face on it. The face, the eyes will blink green, and you have to immediately counter when that happens. But when you do enough damage to the enemy, the shield goes away, and it completely changes to where the enemy's eyes will then flash green, but you need to dodge and then counter after he attacks, and it changes. And then you fight him once, and it's like, okay, I'm familiar with how this happens. And then like a mission later, they do that, and then they throw a bunch of ads or like a bunch of additional enemies. And
Yeah.
then they add another boss that is completely new on top of that. And then the level starts moving. And now you're
Oh
trying to
yeah.
platform. And it's like, so at one point, there was a level that looked normal. And then all of a sudden, the floor started breaking and there was lava beneath. And there was these 4 pillars that would open up. And you have to shoot the pillar that's open. But that pillar that's open is also shooting back at you. So you're having to dodge the bullets. But then, once you get the first pillar, all of a sudden the level sections that are still above the lava start moving up and down. So now you're
Oh
having
no.
to platform between the two, between all of those, while shooting the pillars that are shooting back at you. By the time you hit the second pillar, all of a sudden enemies are spawning on top of everything that's going on. And it's like the music starts to ramp up. I don't know. My thoughts are so mixed on this that I really don't know what to think of it. It's more the story has picked up, the lore has picked up. They somehow managed to reveal who Doom Guy is in a really awesome way. And then the gameplay is just, it's kind of like the beginning of the game, they had a vision. By the
Hmm.
point where I'm at now, they've nailed it. Like they've perfected platforming mixed with shooting. And it's like I've never played a game like this, at least this way. I don't know. It's a
Uh, I
it's
definitely need to go
special.
back and finish that one up. I enjoyed what I played of it. I just haven't had time to go
Yeah.
back and finish it yet.
Yeah, I think I have two more levels left, and they both are major boss fights at the end, based off of the trophies. And so I think that's all that I have left. Some of the levels are really long, which is, fine, but um, I don't know. I'm really liking it, and it's kind of crazy to think that Doom Eternal, Dreams, Resident Evil 3, and Final Fantasy 7 might be our only candidates for Game of the Year.
Yeah, we'll have to see how all this coronavirus stuff ends up panning out because it's getting a little crazy.
Yeah.
Is that all the games you played this week?
Oh yeah, yeah. That's it. Just those three.
All right, I guess let's start talking about the coronavirus for our weekly coronavirus update. Um, so yeah, as of this last week, um, the entire state of Georgia is now under like quarantine.
Yeah,
So you're
shelter in
supposed to
place.
stay in your home unless you are out doing like grocery shopping, medical stuff, or unless you work at one of those places,
Which
which we both
translates
do. So we've
to
still had no time,
yeah, which translates to everyone go to the grocery store at
apparently.
specifically 8 o'clock in the morning.
Well, there's nowhere else to go, so you might as well just go to the grocery store and keep filling up your living room with
Yeah,
groceries.
yeah. Where's all this money coming from?
I don't know. Um,
Yeah, it's a.
but
I guess if you're a new listener, we both work in a grocery store,
yeah,
so
we
we have
we were not going to
firsthand
say which one,
experience.
but they're all equally terrible.
Yeah, they're all just as bad, and as long as we don't say which one, we're safe.
Yes.
Not
Uh,
from people, but from being fired. Which I don't think we can be fired right now. I don't. Because we're essential according
oh
to.
my goodness, I really wish we weren't. A lot of my friends like all have like time off, and I mean, I get like for some people like with all this stuff going on, I mean, it's terrible because they're living paycheck to paycheck,
Yeah,
and this means a lot of folks are going to lose their homes and stuff like that.
yeah,
But for other people who have a little money or don't need as much money, I mean, it's essentially like vacation time to them.
yeah. There's someone on my Facebook that I'm friends with, but I don't really know them personally. And then they had posted a photo that said, it was like, with all this time off, I finally got my yard work all looking nice and everything. I've never had an interaction with this person. I literally just typed in, go to hell. Shut up.
But no, I mean, as far as the rest of us go, I mean, I definitely can tell like it's affecting a lot of people. We're seeing so many people come into the stores with masks and
Yeah.
gloves, and I mean, a lot of people are really just worried about all of this stuff.
Yeah, which I can understand that it's scary because it's new, but it's I don't know. This is
I,
it's a weird
I
and
still
interesting.
think, yeah, I still think this is a huge overreaction
Yes.
because there is not like the data behind this is not showing the mortality rates anywhere close to what they were originally thinking.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. They're just I guess the best way to counteract a new thing is to overblow it, so that way that gives them time to like at least get the hospitals well equipped enough, and then they because I heard something like they just need people to stay in place so the hospitals can get equipped enough, so that way everybody can go back to work, to where if you get sick you can just go to the hospital and you'll be fine.
yeah, and I think that's right now what everyone's really hoping for. So,
Yeah,
hopefully, that ends up happening pretty soon.
yeah, and like 2 to 3 years from now, babies that are being born are going to get the vaccine, or like their shots that they get are going to have whatever they need to fight the coronavirus. Like this is it's just a once in a lifetime thing that happens, and we're just gonna have to go through the loops until it gets corrected.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess that's the best way to put it.
Yeah,
I guess moving on to news. What do you got for us starting off, Zach?
yeah. So this was actually posted as of last night on 4chan, and then it was reposted on Reddit this morning. And it was WB is apparently interested in buying the rights to Kane and Lynch and Freedom Fighters, which is awesome because we
Freedom
both love
fighters.
Freedom Fighters.
Freedom
Yeah,
fighters.
yeah, yeah.
I love
Freedom
freedom
Fighters.
fighters.
Yes, who doesn't? Well, I guess a lot of people. It would have continued being made if people loved it, but Kane and Lynch, I also enjoy. I really like the first one, but the second one was a little weird. To be, also take this with a grain of salt. It's a rumor, and it was posted on 4chan, and then 4chan was reposted on Reddit. So it may not be true, but it does connect back to the ESA, and the ESA was setting up E3, and WB was supposed to be at E3, and they're going to have their own press conference. So it all kind of seems like it could be true, but we won't know probably until around the time E3 was supposed to be. So maybe mid June, maybe a little before. WB Games will have a press conference, or not a press conference, but a video kind of showcasing what they have planned. But this could all
Hmm.
be thrown out the door if they don't think that any of the games they're working on are actually going to come out anytime soon.
Yeah. Well, who knows with the middle of all this stuff going on? But I definitely got my fingers crossed for this one. I love freedom fighters. I really want to see a new freedom fighters game. I think it'd be awesome.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, I agree.
So I guess going back to the next bit of news, like another game that just came out kind of out of nowhere. We
Yeah,
heard some rumors, but they pretty well just threw it out there. Is Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 came out with a remastered edition.
yeah,
So this seems to be really popular with a lot of games right now. Is going back and remastering the game. Um, and I mean, they've really updated the graphics in this. Like it
yeah,
looks like a brand new game. Like if you
yeah.
just showed this video to somebody who didn't know what it was,
They
they'd say it's
reworked
just
the
coming
engine.
out this year.
Yeah, like they really put in their work on this remaster. They could have totally just honed it in and just upresed it, but no, they actually like went in and did work.
Yeah. And this one doesn't come with the multiplayer. This is only the single player part.
Yeah,
Um,
which does
but
suck.
I do remember enjoying the single player on this
Yeah,
one.
this is the notorious no Russian mission.
Oh yes.
Yeah, so be prepared to have a lot more articles talking about how offensive and cruel that mission was from a game that came out in 2006,
2009, I think.
2009.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, this game's old.
Well, I still remember how much heat this game got when it came out because people were not okay with you being a player gunning down helpless civilians in an airport.
Yeah, yeah.
So, I mean, don't get me wrong, that's pretty intense. But if I remember right, even in the old one, you had the option to skip it and not do it if you didn't feel comfortable with it.
Yeah, I
So
think they
it's not like
started
the
off
game.
with like, hey,
Huh?
there's a mission that I think when you like first booted up the game, it was like, hey, there's a mission on here that is very cruel and tough. Do you still want to play it? And I'm like, oh, well, yeah, sure.
Yeah. But I mean, there was an option to where, like, if you said no, like, it would just skip it and tell you what happened.
Yeah,
So it doesn't actually like force you to play it if you don't want to.
which is good.
Um, yeah, I mean, I definitely appreciate that they are not like forcing people into situations they're not comfortable with.
Yeah,
Um, but I mean, at the same time, it is a video game, so I mean, no real people are getting hurt. So
yeah.
take that with a grain of salt.
And
Um,
I
but
think it's only
I mean,
20 bucks too, which is it's
yeah,
pretty fair price.
yeah, $20 is not bad at all for this. I mean, it definitely looks like they put a lot of work into it, and it was a really good story. So
Yeah,
I'm perfectly fine with $20 price tag. I
yeah.
think they've earned that.
It is odd that so they have Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare remastered, and then Call of Duty Modern Warfare, which was a prequel,
Yeah.
I think. But now they have Modern Warfare 2 remastered, which is a sequel to Modern Warfare remastered, not Modern Warfare, which is a prequel to Modern Warfare remastered, which is
So I
I
would
think
assume that well, they already came out with the original Modern Warfare remastered a couple years ago, didn't they?
yeah, yeah. So this is, the sequel to that. But now the Modern Warfare that came out in 2019, are we getting a Modern Warfare 2 that's separate from Modern
I
Warfare 2
seriously
Remastered?
doubt it with all this. It's going to be called something else. It's going to be like Modern Warfare, blah blah blah, and it might be taking place after Modern Warfare 3
Yeah. Well, they could do
because
Modern Warfare 4, but that's just
yeah,
going to confuse people too.
yeah.
But maybe that's
Uh,
why they want to remaster 2 and 3 to have the trilogy in the middle there.
Yeah, I mean, I think this would be great to like have them put out as a bundle for like just the story missions. Be like the Modern Warfare collection, like $60. You get Modern Warfare 2019, and then like the Modern Warfare remastered, Modern Warfare 2 remastered, 3 remastered. Put all that out as like a collection to play through, and
Yeah.
then really build up the hype for Modern Warfare 4 or whatever they decide to call it.
Yeah, that would be an awesome thing to do, but this is Activision, so we don't know. But they have been treating Call of Duty correctly.
Yes,
So
I have to say, like, we got to give them a little benefit of the doubt. They've been doing really good with their stuff lately.
yeah.
No more loot boxes or any of that kind of stuff. And speaking of which, if you buy Modern Warfare 2 Remastered, it gives you Ghost as an operator and like a pack of weapons and other special items in Modern Warfare 2019.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So if you buy the game to play the game, it gives you like a special character and like a custom loadout of their weapons and like some other goodies and stuff with it. You can use in the new Modern Warfare multiplayer game.
Huh. Now I will say that there was a lot of people complaining about Call of Duty coming out every year. That's like a traditional thing. Everybody complains, oh, there's Call of Duty every year. In the past, what, 6 months? There's been three Call of Duties. At least with Modern Warfare Warzone, which was an added tacked on battle royale mode to Modern
Yeah.
Warfare, and now Modern Warfare 2 Remastered, and no one's complaining. I wonder why.
Well, I
It's
mean,
almost
I
like they
think
got
what
time
this
to
one
play.
is. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying it's almost like now that they have time to play games, they're not going to complain about Call of Duty.
Yeah, this is true. I don't know. I think as long as you mix it up enough, I don't have a problem with it because I mean, there's still people I know who play, some of the previous Call of Duty versions.
Yeah.
It just, more variety is never a bad thing. I don't think
No.
because let's
No.
say, like I didn't really play, was it Infinite Warfare at all? Like that game just did not appeal to me at all.
Yeah.
And, but I'm like, oh man, I can't play that one. If only I had another Call of Duty I could play. Oh, wait, there's like 10 other ones I could play right now.
Yeah. Yeah. That. Yeah. uh, so I guess moving on to the last bit of news, and this is disappointing, but it's also expected. The Last of Us Part Two, along with Iron Man VR, have been delayed indefinitely, and that's the scary part. Indefinitely.
So, what indefinitely means, though, is that just means it's not like it's never going to come out. It just means they don't have a
We
solid
don't
date to
know.
push it back to.
Yeah, and especially with The Last of Us Part Two, it's already been delayed twice, so this is the third time, and so they can't just pick a date. They like the date they announce, they have to nail it. It has to be it, and it's just too things are too crazy right now.
Yeah, well, I mean, here's the way the developers are looking at it right now with this coronavirus stuff going on.
Yeah,
They might not be able to have people working on it for bug fixes. They might not be able to have the server loads optimized as much right now because everyone's playing.
yeah,
Production issues of shipping out copies of the game are delayed. And with everybody under quarantine, like unless you order it online, people can't go out to retailers to buy it, which is
yeah,
really going to impact the release of the game.
yeah,
And with the governments all around the world, saying, well, it's going to be 2 weeks until we add another 2 weeks,
yeah,
or maybe a month, maybe 2 months. Like, an indefinite delay right now simply means they don't know when things will get back to normal. But I would assume, like, let's say everything gets back to normal toward May, maybe June, then we could see them go out and say, okay, we're going to be looking at an August 1st release, or maybe, middle of July or whatever.
Yeah, and it's interesting that they didn't announce anything for Ghost of Tsushima about them delaying that. And maybe because that's at the end of June, they were like, oh, maybe things will be better by then. Maybe they can actually hit a late June release. But with The Last of Us Part 2, I feel like they should just punt it to around the PS5 launch and just work on it being like a cross gen and come out on PS4 and PS5.
Well, I mean, it might anyway.
Yeah.
It's going to be really hard to tell. But I mean, I think, especially with as much money as they put into it, they want to try and get it out as fast as possible.
Yeah.
But I mean, trying to put it out in the middle of all this stuff going on would pretty well be suicide for the game.
Yeah.
So I get why they would delay it, though.
Yeah, I'm assuming whatever fall first party release they have lined up is being delayed until 2021. Like if Horizon Zero Dawn 2 was going to be a PS5 launch game, I think it's getting delayed. Even if they do release the PS5, I don't think the games that were like the big powerhouses that are going to be coming out on launch, I don't think those are going to be coming out anymore. If The Last of Us Part 2 is this close to being done and it got delayed, anything that is being worked on right now is getting delayed for sure.
Well, I mean, what we might see out of some of this stuff too is with the PlayStation 5 launch,
Yeah.
like we're probably going to see something like, maybe some of the titles get pushed back. I definitely think there's going to be limited numbers of PlayStation 5s and Xbox Series X at launch,
Yeah.
and probably a lot more limited stuff, and maybe a shift toward more digital downloads in this next one because you got to think with them trying to produce all these copies of games for a holiday release, a lot of that stuff is starting now. And depending on how long it takes them to ramp everything up, there could be a very limited number of physical copies. So they might do something, we keep talking about it. Maybe if you can get your hands on a physical release, it's $60. But if you can, just download it digitally, like maybe the first week it's $50 or something.
Yeah, yeah, that would be a little more enticing. And so this is something that I'm not hearing a lot of people talk about, and I'm kind of curious what you would think. So Phil Spencer has come out and said that they are not ever going to release their consoles uh, region locked, or not region locked, like segmented. Like they when they release, they're releasing worldwide.
Yeah.
Sony doesn't care. They released the PS4 in North America 3 months before they released it in Japan. So
Yeah.
they go after their markets where they know that it'll sell. So do you think that Phil Spencer will delay the launch of the Series X pending that he can't get it to every region? And Sony will be like, well, hey, we'll just make sure we have enough consoles to sell it to America. And then they will sell to America, and then a few months they'll sell it everywhere else. What do you think about that?
I think if they end up running into serious delays, they probably will do something like that because, let's say America is definitely the best selling spot for Xbox. I don't see them shipping over, tens of thousands of Xboxes or more to countries where they might sit on the shelf and might not sell as fast versus pooling them all together and sending them out to the country where you're going to get the most sales out of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So time will tell on that one, but I think you're probably right. I think they will probably end up delaying it in other countries to focus on America and Europe first.
Yeah. Yeah. It'll be interesting, to see how this all, because it's like not only is this a next gen launch year, there's a pandemic, and so it's going to be really crazy to see, and honestly, like I'd be okay with both consoles getting delayed till fall of next year. We got plenty to
Yeah, I
play.
mean, we still have a ton of really good games coming out right now, and I mean, I have no problems with the PlayStation 4 right now. I mean, it's able to handle, everything we really need it to do. I'm excited about the PlayStation 5, but
Yeah.
I mean, it's not going to be as such a huge leap in technology as some of the previous consoles over each other.
Yeah, yeah,
Because looking at the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One, I mean, they both have online stores, they both have wireless controllers, they both have high definition graphics at 60 frames a second. um, they both have large scale hard drives for stuff and a huge selection of games.
yeah,
So as where, you know like the PlayStation 4 was, a lot different than the PlayStation 3 and revolutionary in different ways. And, the PlayStation 3 was way different than the PlayStation 2. And the PlayStation 2 was way different than the PlayStation 1.
yeah.
There's not going to be quite as much difference from the PlayStation 4 to the PlayStation 5. Because I think we're starting to kind of peak the level of technology. I mean, I think it's just going to start getting into, you know, the graphics on it are really going to start getting into like photorealistic stuff soon.
Oh
I
yeah,
think the rest of the infrastructure is kind of already there, though.
yeah, yeah. I think so, definitely we're going to be getting 60 frames per second with 4K support. At least that has to be the goal, because some games you get to choose. At least on the PS4 Pro, you can choose between 4K at 30, and honestly, it's not even 4K. It's like a checkerboard rendering, or
Yeah.
1080p at 60 FPS. So if the PS4 Pro, which is weaker than or the Xbox One X, I'm assuming that the Series X and the PS5 will at least be able to run 4K at 60, even if it's not 100% true 4K. But I'm looking at the specs for both. I think they can handle 4K. It all
I
depends on
definitely think both will be able to handle 4K, but I mean, still, right now, like, how many people even really have 4K TVs? Because
not
4K
a lot.
TVs are like
Yeah,
really expensive compared to going out and buying a 1080p TV. Because
yeah.
you can go out and get like a 60-inch 1080 HD TV now for like a couple $100. But if you want that in 4K, just throw a zero behind it.
Yeah, there are some brands that are lowering it a good bit. Like the brand I have, TCL, I bought I think 2 years ago, and it was $600, and it's a 55-inch 4K TV with HDR. Now it's not the
That's not too
greatest
bad.
HDR. I mean, it's like an entry level 4K TV, and I'm sure that they're much cheaper now. So I think they're building to future proof. Because this is hopefully going to be the console for the next 4 to 5 years before they do the inevitable PS5 Pro.
Yeah, no, I agree.
But yeah, so I don't know.
I guess that's
That's
about all we got for
yeah,
this week then.
yeah. It was a little short one, but then again, with everything that's going on, there's just not really a whole lot of news.
Yeah. All right.
Uh,
Well, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
yeah, yeah. Any comments? Let us know. Questions? We can ask or answer them on the next video. I'm Zach,
And I'm Lindsay.
and we're the Game Forum.